Hold on one second. Okie doke. We are live. Welcome, welcome, everyone. Good evening. It is, what is today? November the 18th, 2025. So we are live on YouTube and on Facebook. Be sure and put in the comments, say hello, where you're from, and just say hi so I know you're there. Okay? So we'll give it a few minutes and let everybody jump on. I have been a busy little beaver, bottling paint the last couple of days, so I look a little ragged, but thought I would come on. You guys get to ask any questions you want to ask about Colors for Earth products tonight, and hopefully I can answer them for you. So if you have a question about a project you've done, or maybe a product you haven't tried and you want to know more about it, tonight's your night. So ask me any of those questions. So I am going to wait just a few minutes. So be sure to comment so that I know that you see me, hear me, everything's good. So hopefully you guys are getting ready. I think the kids get out of school here tomorrow, and then they have all next week off for Thanksgiving holiday. So I'm not sure about where you're at, if that's the same or not, but it's definitely a week to spend with family and friends, and I wish you all a happy Thanksgiving. Probably won't be on next week because of it being a holiday week. I have a feeling I may have grandkids for a couple of days here and there. So, but definitely say hello. I don't see anybody out there, but let me refresh and see what I can. Nope. All right. Up. Good evening to everyone from British Columbia. Hey, how are you? New Hampshire, Julie. All right. Sean, is that you? That's the SIAN 707. Is that correct? Is that you? Hey, Susan. How are you this evening? So what are you guys working on? Are you trying to finish getting ready for last minute shows? Do you have any shows left this season? I think there's still some out there. The one I was going to do, just to try to get rid of some old samples, canceled, so I didn't get to do that. So I may be going live to sell some samples through now and the end of the year. We'll see. We'll see. Hey, Nancy. And hey, Nancy from Florida. All right, we got two Nancys on. Thank you. Yep, okay, it's you. Awesome, awesome. So this is your chance, guys. I don't have anything planned. I am going to be, those of you that are, well, you don't have to be a ClayShare member, but if you are, or you want to watch a broadcast on December 3rd, I think it's December 3rd. I forgot to check my calendar, but I'm pretty sure that's correct. Yes, December 3rd, I will be live on Jessica's YouTube. So anybody can watch this. I am doing, let me show you the piece. Hold on, I put it over here. So I'm doing this teapot and teacup. We'll get as much done as we can. We have 1 hour, so let's see how fast Paula can actually paint, right? One more show, Julie says. Awesome. How are the shows for you guys? Are they doing okay this year, or tell me what you're selling. You're selling your clay, glass. Just got here from Wisconsin. Okay. Hi, Nancy. All right. I bet it's colder up there. We've had like unbelievably warm days. So anyway, so this teapot, and I'm going to show you the technique, and the teacup, and that is December 3rd, live at 5. That's 5 p.m. Eastern time. I'll be on Jessica, or if you're on the ClayShare Prime group, you can watch it on there also. Okay. So that's what I'm doing on that. So I will put, before that happens, I'll put the little pattern up for the holly on the blog, and then if you watch it later, I'll have a link to it. I have a full-length video that I'm in the process of editing at the moment, so that will go up on the blog page also, because we only have an hour on the ClayShare, so it makes it hard to get everything done. You're selling glass, Julie. Awesome. Okay. All right. Who's got the first question? What do you want to ask me? Tonight's your night. I am at your disposal, and come on, ask me something. something about a product that you haven't used and you don't know if you want to purchase it, or something you are using. Maybe it didn't work how you thought it was. So anything. I'm opening myself up so you can ask anything you want. I do not have a demonstration planned for tonight, so I can. That's sweet. Well, every once in a while I do the brush strokes and do these type of things because it gives the opportunity for you guys to ask your questions, and hopefully I can give you some suggestions or answers. I was talking to Sean earlier, and I said, I used to do a live Zoom once a month, and you could face to face. It was no cost, and you could bring your pieces, show me, ask questions, and we just didn't have a lot of response, so I quit doing it. If that's something you'd like to see happen after the first of the year, let me know, and I can set that up and do that. So, hi from Connecticut. Hey there, how are you? Late to the party? Nah, you're not late. I don't know if we're having a party or not, but you're not late. You can come on in, ask any questions you want to know about something. I'd be happy to answer. Okay, I'm going to turn the camera down and show you the glass piece that I posted the other day. I don't remember. So this is that one that we put the paste on. Then I went back and I added some dots. I added some gold sparkle. Do you see that on the piping? It's hard to catch the real shimmer of it, but it's kind of cool. So we piped the edges, and that was on a previous live. I shaded both sides with the 162 Laurel Green, and then after that dried, I decided I was going to come back in and add that sparkle. Can you see that gold sparkle on there? And then I added some dots just to kind of dress that up. Piping paste, Sean says, for no fire, how long does it take to dry? And is it CC for, you can use, okay, so I wouldn't fire it for 24 hours, okay? Let me go back to me again. I wouldn't fire it, let it dry 24 hours because the outside could be dry, but the inside might be wet. And I would not dry it with a fan either because you can cause cracking. You would cause uneven drying. So it's still wet inside, it's dry on the outside, and then it opens up and causes cracking. So I would not do that. And then the second question, she said, if you're using it as a no fire, can you color it with color concentrates? You can. I did it and I didn't have any problem with it. But the nice thing is you can color it with your acrylic paints. Okay, so I don't have one of those here, but so what she's asking is if you had, the glass ornaments that you don't fire in the kiln, the piping paste is on here. If I wanted this flower to be, say, a soft blue color, could I color it with color concentrates? Yes, but you can also color it, and I don't know that I have one here, but we'll just pick a blue. This is Folk Art multi-surface acrylics, okay? You could color it with that. Never go more than half and half. So I just happen to have my paste setting here. So you would have 50%, 50%, and mix it in a little cup and then put it in a squeeze bottle. You can also just shade on top. You don't have to color it necessarily. If you just want some of the bits and pieces colored, kind of like what I did on here, you could just do that with your acrylics. Now, I have a separate set of brushes, Sean, that I keep for acrylics so that I don't use the ones that I'm doing fired products in the kiln, okay? So, it opens, she says it opens up a whole nother world. It does, it does. Hey, Christy from Eustis Tech. Tell me where Eustis is. I know where Euless is. That's just across town. I'm up in Weatherford, so I'm not sure where Eustis, and hopefully I'm saying that correctly. So you can definitely tint it, and I'm looking around, my videotaping space is so small I don't have a chance, I can't put everything on it. But let's just, so like this is just a demo piece, Sean. Let me just squirt in some paint here and I'll show you, let me see if I can find my acrylic brushes. That would be the first thing. And yes, I got them here. All right, so let's do this. Isn't that purple pretty? I'm going to tease you. This is an ornament that I've got ready to paint. Okay, so if you wanted to shade this, and this is the non-fired, okay, I've got the small semi brush. I'm going to wet it, and I'm going to tip it in. I said I wasn't going to demo tonight. See what you did to me? Tip it into the acrylic, and so you can just, and I have a video, I did a just a flower in like a fuchsia color out on YouTube, and it's on a glass vase that's not fireable, and I tinted the paste and put it on. But see how you can just add that, and then if you wanted to add, you know, here on this next level, you can do the same thing. So the water is your carrier, and there's your color. So that's kind of fun to do, right? Cedar Lake near Canton. Oh, okay. Okay, so you're out off of I-20 somewhere out that direction. All right. That's probably an hour and 45 minutes from me. But see that, Sean, how you can just go back and add color? This would be the more economical way to do it instead of wasting paste and coloring it, unless you're going to do a dozen of the same color. I would choose this option. That's a great question. Thank you for asking that. Okay. All right. I'm going to wipe this out of here because it's not going down my drain. All right. Anybody else got a question? I don't see any questions on Facebook yet. Let me refresh just to make sure. Nope. So if you're on Facebook, be sure and let me know that you're out there. Okay. So I would definitely just do the tinting afterwards if it were me. Okay. Anybody else got a question? Come on, you guys. Did you guys see these? These are the ceramic ornaments that I made on a live. Well, I had this one done, and then we did this one together. I'm actually going to sell these tonight, and I'll explain about that in a minute. Okay. I'm dropping my brushes. All right. Anybody else? Any questions? So, Christy, do you do, out in the Canton area, do you do glass or ceramic? I'm going to switch back over here. So this is kind of a laid back little live just to answer your questions. I can go through some different slides and products, and maybe that'll spark some things. Sean says, questions at this point right now. Okay. Yeah. Down the drain. Okay, so I'm going to just jump over here and put some slides up and see if it sparks anything. Okay, so here's some glass projects. So if you work with our enamels, the top, I'm going to go top left and work my way over. The dragonfly is the black piping paste as an outline, and then colors are flooded in, colors are marbleized, and then on the dragonflies themselves, I used frit and layering mix to build up the texture on a second firing. So I did all the enamels, fused the two pieces together. I was working on clear and working on white back, white opal back. And then I came back and did the wings and actually added some glitz on top of it so that it gave them like shimmer, you know, like dragonfly, butterflies, their wings and stuff have that shimmery look to them. Okay. The bigger square butterfly there is, what did I do on that? Oh, I silk screened that. So that's silk screen black, and then I colored in. You can color on the top, you can color behind, depends on what you want to do. So both of those, and that utilizes the G series enamels, and then on the blue one there is our bubble art enamel. BA5051 cerulean is on that piece. The vase with the flowers is a free live that you can find it on the it's called the alcohol ink technique. So it's not alcohol inks, but I use the designers to do the technique, and I mixed the colors with alcohol and tried to mimic what you can get in the non-fired acrylic world. So that's out on the blog. Be sure and utilize the blog. There's a lot of free, all the videos, if there's a pattern or any photographs that I share or links, everything is there on that one page regarding that project. So be sure and check those out. The rainbow vase that looks like the handkerchief bandana type thing, I did that, oh my gosh, probably 17 years ago maybe, for one of the first glass shows that I did. So that is all the enamels. It's done on 6 mil glass, so it's a double thick. And then I put, I lost my train of thought, noodles along the edge to create a different value, just to kind of outline, and then I full fused that, and then I came back and I did the piping paste, and that is like a 12 by 12. No, it's bigger than that. I think it's a 14. Anyway, there's free videos on that too on the YouTube also, and don't forget to subscribe to my channel, like the videos, share the videos. That tells YouTube that you want to see more, and puts me in front of more people. You can also, what do they do? You can also send me a cup of coffee or whatever if you like what I do. There's ways to do that. So the bottom left is an enamel pour by Debbie Elmer. Great combination of like some mint julep, sapphire white. There's all kinds of things going on there. That's a beautiful piece. The hydrangeas with the flowers, that is a 6-layer piece that I did years ago. Using the designers, because I come from the toll painting world, the acrylic world, many years ago, and I love to do that style of painting, and the designers allows me to do that. So okay, so real quick, Julie says, what temp for CC's on glass? Minimum temp for everything is 1380 with a 10-minute hold, but you can full fuse. With the color concentrates on glass, you do want to make sure that you sift clear powdered frit over it if you're not going to cap it with a clear or a transparent, because they have no glass in them. So let me go back over here. So Julie, they don't have any glass in them. They're a ceramic product, so if you leave them uncapped, they're going to be a matte finish, okay? You can set those, if that's all that's on your piece, you can set it maybe at 12, let's say 1250. But I would go as hot as you can. So if you're doing them on like ornaments, because if they're not capped, if someone took a palette knife to them, eventually if they were scratching it really hard, they could scratch it off. So it really technically needs to be capped, and it needs to be capped if it's for food surfaces to make it food safe. Okay, so hopefully that answers your question. I'm going to refresh Facebook and see. I still don't see anybody on Facebook. So it says I'm live, but actually it says there's 4 people out there. So if you're on Facebook watching, put a comment in so that I know that you can see that and I can see what you're putting on there. Okay, that would be great for me. Let's go back over here. The one next to the right of the hydrangeas is what did I do on those? Oh, that's the balloon painting. So I poured some enamel. There's a video on this also. Poured some enamels on a piece, and I blew up a balloon, and I literally smashed the balloon into the enamels to create different looks. So check that out. That's really fun to do with kids, easy to do, and if you say I can't paint, I know you can do that. Okay? You're welcome, Julie. Hey, Miss Teresa, how are you? I am live on Facebook. Okay, well, it says 4 people, but it doesn't tell me. Nobody's commenting, so thank you for letting me know that. The piece on the bottom right with the lilies is done with, I used enamels, of course. We stamped in the background, and all of these, there's techniques on the website that are available. But I also took layering mix and enamel, a gray enamel, and I made a piping product out of that. So that's kind of cool. It's similar to what we did, remember we did the poinsettia last year with silver and gold sparkle and made it into a piping, so that's the same way. So you can take that and just make it thicker. Okay, so Christy asks, can we use piping paste with a screen print medium? I would not put piping paste through a silk screen. You can use it through a stencil. Okay, stencil. and hopefully, and there's some confusion, and I'm going to go over here to my overhead. So a stencil is something that has literally holes all the way through it. You could use the piping paste with that. I don't have a silk screen sitting here that I can grab, but a silk screen is literally a piece of fabric that an image is burned through it, but it leaves little tiny threads of the fabric. So I would not put piping paste in that type of thing because it would just clog it up, and I'm afraid you'd ruin your silk screen. Okay. Sean said she's used the balloon technique. It really allows for interesting look, and it can be quite beautiful. It can be. I wouldn't use over 5 colors, and I say that in a lot of things. 5 is kind of the max before everything gets dirty, so to speak. Okay. The brushes are still on sale. If you're looking for some kits, okay. So check those out. I don't remember if tonight is the last night, but go check out some of the brushes. And the 41 kit, let me go down to that slide. Hold on one second. Too many things. Okay, so this kit here, all 41 color concentrates, that kit is on sale. And I think that sale ends tonight. But guess what I did for you guys? Just for you guys tonight. With this code, thanks10, all caps, you get 10% off through the end of the month. It doesn't apply to sale items, and you cannot use it with any other coupon codes, but 10% off. So write that down, thanks10, all caps. You can use that to the end of the month and save 10% on any of your products. Christy says, do you have product that can do silk printing? I'm looking for white. Yes, I have silkscreen white and silkscreen black. And I think I have that on a slide, so give me 1 second. I got to read all these different things that I've got on here. Way too many. Way too many. We have over 2,000 products on the website, so it's a lot too. But I know I have a screen that's made up, meaning a slide. I'm looking for, oh, here we go. Well, that doesn't show you white though. And that's ceramic, so that doesn't help you. Hold on 1 second. I thought I did one that shows. Here's some different paste examples. Sean says, get the kit. You will use it. You can buy the 1 ounce or the 2 ounce of the 41 kit she's talking about. So they're both on sale. And it's, I think it's a 15% savings. Christy, the silkscreen product, food safe, it is if it's capped, but you cannot cap it on the first firing unless you're sifting over it. If you sift over it, you can do it on the first firing because all the extra pigment that I put in there can escape. Otherwise, it could cause bubbles. Okay, so as long as you pre-fire it to 1380 with a 10-minute hold or sift over it, you'll be good. Hi there from Arkansas. I remember talking to you on the phone. How are you? We are on Facebook and commenting, but realize I can't see them, and I've refreshed the comments. Isn't that weird? Let me see if I can expand. Hold on 1 second. I got 2 different screens I have to look at, so I'm gonna, maybe, no, that didn't do it either. I'm trying to, something went wrong, it says. Oh, I see you guys. Okay, hello. I had to expand it. Sorry about that. Hi, Lori. Hi, Susan. Sorry about that. Okay, let me check for questions. Arizona. Okay, she said, I'm here from Arizona. My green is turning brown at cone 5.6. Lori, zinc-free clear glaze is your best friend. Do you use a zinc-free clear? Okay, hold on. I'm going to go back up here. All right, to me. There's your coupon code. If you just got on, make sure you write that down. Thanks 10 to save 10% off. So, Lori, let me know. I wish I could talk directly to you guys. If you are using a zinc-free, I prefer to use Mako SW004 Zinc Free Clear. Jessica's 2167 works. I don't like, sorry, the HF9, is that Amico? I think that's right. That tend to burn, and it did turn them brown. So just be careful, but zinc free is your friend. And I can show you, I think I have, no, I don't have my cone 6 chart here. I've got my color strokes, but I don't have that one. Hey Janice, let me make sure there's no other questions over here. That's the only one. So Lori, type in there and let me know if you're using zinc free, because I think that'll make a huge difference for you. Okay. Hold on, I can put up the color charts. I have that on here. And you're doing cone 5, 6. So we need to go, here we go. So here is the one on the left is that correct? Yes. Okay. So that is both the color strokes and the color concentrates, and they were fired to cone 6. And you can see the greens come out pretty well. Amazing. I'm looking at comments to make sure she has it. And I don't know if I'm going to have to refresh Facebook again. I'm going to go there. And then I'm going to, hold on one second. I'm going to expand this to see if I can see any other comments. I don't see. Okay, she hasn't told me yet. So there's your cone 6. If you are working with earthenware, your 06. So the colors, look at that one and remember that, and then we're going to flip back to the cone. So there's not a whole lot of, they do brown slightly, but if you are doing cone 6 with the zinc free, Mako SW004, it's written at the bottom there of the slide, you can see that. And if you just popped on, let me show you. This is what I'm doing on Clayshare on December 3rd. This is stoneware. This is Mako's stoneware. And there's your greens. And it's fine. This is, what did I use? I used 164, 163, 160, I believe. But yeah, no problem at all. You're doing apple and leaves image on a plate, and you want to shade the apple with CC's. What do I recommend? You can either use CC 132 Deep Cranberry. I can't get to it. I've got stuff lined up here. Or you can add a little bit, a tiny bit of black to it and give it a tint, and that would also work too. But I like the 132 apple. You could always shade it with a little bit of 186 brown also. You like the teapot? Isn't that fun? Isn't that cute? So I was showing, so here it is on the photograph. So that's cone 6. That's stoneware, guys. So it can be done if you use Mako's SW004. Makes a huge difference in what it fires out. So yeah, just add a little brown to your red, I think, for your apples there. And the leaves, you want, I'm reading the comment again, have the greens figured out, some of the previous, okay, so the apple. So yeah, I would use, the 112 is my favorite, and I need to flip my camera so you can see what I'm doing. So the 112 candy apple red is what I'd use. You can also, there's a little trick, and I think I may have talked about it before, but if you take, my bottle's dirty, 123, you can actually do a highlight, like shade some of it, you know, work it back and forth with your semi brush, base coat, and then while you have the red in your brush, pick up a little bit of yellow and add a highlight off to one side. Yellow eats through red, and I don't care if it's an opaque or a translucent underglaze. And if red's on top of yellow, it's going to do the same thing. So it's going to lighten the area wherever you put the yellow color, whether it's 122 or 123 are the two that I would use. So keep that in mind. I do that on cherries too. I'll tend to add a little bit of the yellow. Okay, so let me go back over to Facebook and see if she answered me. No. Okay. You'd love the monthly Zoom. So if you just popped on, what I was talking about earlier is a couple of years ago, it's probably been 2 years now, I used to, I won't make it as complicated as it was back then, but I can have a standard Zoom code and we can pop on Zoom once a month. You can bring your projects so I can see them, help you troubleshoot them, kind of like what I'm doing now, but we could talk face to face. And I did it for probably 9 months, 6 months, 9 months, and nobody was taking advantage of it. I'd have 3 or 4 people on it. And it's an hour that you can come live, talk to me face to face, show me your projects, let's troubleshoot any problems you have. And nobody was taking advantage of it, so I quit doing it. I mean, it didn't make it worth me sitting on there for an hour for just, not saying those 3 or 4 people weren't important, but you know what I'm saying. I would have rather had a bigger audience and not have to show. I'd rather answer questions for you guys, is what I'm saying. So, all right. So I will think about that, Susan, after the first year. Nothing's going to happen until after that, okay? So let's go back and talk about some other things. So here is our bubble art enamel. So bubble art makes bubbles between 2 pieces of glass. Those larger samples, the bottom third is between glass, and then the next one is uncapped, which is textured, and then I made lines and dots, making it more artist dependent, whatever you want to do with them. You can also use them dry. You can use any of the enamels dry. You can sift them on, but that gives you example. They have to be capped for them to be food safe, okay, because they make bubbles. Bubbles, thin pieces of glass will pop if you touch it or hit it against something, and then you've got this really sharp edge that someone could get hurt on. So definitely between 2 pieces is the best. Okay, and I'm gonna go back over to Facebook, and I am going to see if I can refresh this again and see any comments. I still don't see anything new. I'm trying, guys. So if you have a question that you need me to see, you might want to pop over to YouTube. Okay. All right. So, so we were talking about the silkscreen product earlier. The blue on the bottom left, that is the silkscreen white with clove oil, mixed with clove oil, versus our medium, and a quill pen to do the design with. Silkscreen again. Can you use the silkscreen products and scrape? Yes, absolutely. Yes, you can do that with the silkscreen. So silkscreen white and black we have. What we did on there, Christy, was I bumped up the product, meaning the pigment in those, to make them more white, more black, because when you start going through little tiny fine lines doing your silk screening, it can gray out a little bit. So we bumped the colors up, and so you can buy those in a 1, 2, and 4 ounce size, and just mix them with your medium. There's actually I'm trying to think of which one. There's a couple of different videos out there on silk screening, but mix it just a little bit thicker. You don't have to have the thickener that I sell if you just mix your enamels thick enough to go through it, okay? And you'll have to just do a little test and see, you know, what that happy medium. It kind of depends on where you live. Also, if it's real warm or if it's humid, you know, different areas. The background on the toucan is a watercolor technique. That's one of my oldest videos out there from probably, I don't know, a long time ago, over 10 years probably. The butterflies were silk screened on. The background was enamels just put on, And if you didn't know it, the Murini at the top there, you can actually take clear glass, sift on our powdered enamels, and stack it, and then pull Murini. Make your own colored Murini with your CFE enamels to match maybe a project you were painting and you wanted to do a border on a piece. But all of those are colored with the enamels. There is no colored glass in any of those three. You're welcome, Christy. You know, send me a picture of what you're trying to do, message me or email me, and I can help you some more too. I don't mind doing that. Okay. So if you do Murini, that might be an option for you, is to do that. Here's the color charts. So you've got your enamels on the left, sparkles at the bottom, the bubble art, then the paste, the outline products. Remember, your outline products, you do not want to cap those. Those need to be on the top because they will create bubbles. That's a whole nother technique. You could do a sign up for Zoom and you'll get enough interest, yeah, to do a Zoom class. Absolutely. I used to have it where you could click on it like you were buying a class, but it was no cost on the website, and then you signed up that way. That way I could tell who's going to be on it. So, and we can do a Zoom, and we can actually put it out on Facebook or YouTube if I wanted to. Or I can set up another private group also on Facebook, and we could Zoom within that. Some people don't want to be, you know, on camera out in the middle. Otherwise, we just do it, and then I send you the link, you know, the download later. Don't forget, we've got the paste kits. I did some paste on some things recently on lives, ornaments, and then some ceramic pieces, which I still have to fire those. So remember those, and that was one of the ornaments I showed you too just a bit ago. This one just shows you a lot of some Murini on the left, different pieces that were created with only the enamels, and then some pours, and then that's just one of our color charts. Okay, I don't see any comments past the 17th, well, I don't know how long ago it was, on Facebook. So if you have a question, you may want to jump over to YouTube. All right, so this is sifting with enamels. Top left shows you the actual different stages that I sifted that piece, which is in the center there at the top, what it looked like when it was fired. You want to put it on there fairly heavy, just because you're trying to get something that's opaque. If you're trying to get translucent, then not a problem. That was a plastic stencil. The one that is on the top right was just like a paper cut stencil that was done on a Cricut. Laid it down and sifted over it. Always start with your light colors and then go to your dark depending on what you're doing. The bowl on the bottom left was a live that I did, and when I slumped the piece it messed up and it folded in, and I actually gave that away on a live one time. I think Cindy Chin got that piece. And then the bottom right is another sifted piece. If you're part of, let me go back here. We have a private Facebook group for people that are doing the glass, okay? So if you've bought any products that are glass related from Colors for Earth, you can ask to join that. And we send those, it's a little white sheet that we send out, and most of the kits that we do, and any new customers, I definitely, but you have to answer the questions to get on that page. And so many people don't answer the questions, and I don't have time to go look up every single person to see if they purchased. So, and you have to answer them correctly. Okay. So let's see. We got a quick. Can you use silkscreen as outline also? Absolutely, absolutely. Did you see that blue? I've used it with clove oil, or you can use the medium, and you can outline. And I've got so many slides here. I'm trying to go back and find that one. We'll get to it again. But yes, you can use it like that. Not a problem. Okay, so with where I was going with that, in the private Facebook group for glass, which is CFE, Glass Color Artist. okay? And you have to ask to join that. Because so many people ask questions out on other boards and they don't realize they're going to get a quicker answer unless someone tags me, because I don't see all those. They need to post it in our group. And in the group, there's firing schedules like I'm showing you now. So those are just some examples of different uses of the product and the schedules. And you can also find these on the website underneath the different products. The color concentrates for fused glass. We did the dragonfly in the middle there. That was on paper, firing paper between glass. There's video on that one out there. Stamping just on regular glass. You can, after you full fuse, you can go back and add gold. I mean, there's so many different things here using the color concentrates. It all depends on what surface you're going to use, whether you need to sift or cap it with a clear. And if you're doing the paper between glass like the flowers there or the dragonfly, you definitely need to fire with my firing schedule, which is on the CC Enhancer page on the website. Okay. Hey Angela, how are you? All right, so we have what we call quick reference guides. I put these in every order. These are just a few of them. So depending, and they're on the front and the back, so you need to look on the back. So those are good references for product information, how it can be used, different examples. Okay. Question is, what has better shelf life, piping paste or silk screen, because it's a dry powder? Monique, yeah. Piping paste, no. Once you open it, 6 months or so. So don't buy piping paste until you're ready to use it, okay? For sure. Here's some popular glass kits. If you're looking to get started, the sampler kit is a really good one. It's the only one that we bottle in half-ounce jars. That's what I've been doing all day, is bottling those. And that gets you started, and then you can buy the bigger kit after that. Okay? So this is just an example if you're going to do brush strokes on glass with the color concentrates. That's some examples of it there. But there's 41 colors, and they are cheaper than the enamels. So you might want to look at stamping or using those to decorate, use them with the quill pen, that type of thing. We also have seasonal kits. We made these up years and years ago for Slumpies when they were selling our product. So those are available if you like those. And on each one of those pages, it does have, there's a little freebie PDF download. I think I did one of them with you guys. Maybe the fall one. I think we did as a YouTube live. We've seen that one. The prismatic textured sand is a whole different technique for glass. You put down an enamel, prismatic sand, and layering mix as a base, and then you can do some traditional painting, and then you can determine how it looks by what. And this is the middle picture is unfired, and then the top is the design painted, and then the bottom is what it looks like after it's been fired. And that's on one sheet of glass, all fired to one temperature. And here's a couple others. Some of you may have taken the Purple Poppy webinar with me. There's the paste examples, different things you can do with the paste. The middle, the one with the green background, that mandala there, that was all tinted paste, and I put it through a stencil and then lifted it up. And there's a video on that. You can go out and find that one out there for sure. This is what we did, not this piece, but what we did a couple weeks ago where we had the Christmas tree between glass. So that's all done on thin fire or papyrus, either one you can fuse. You have to sift between the glass. You got to put some clear stringers in the corners and the sides. So there's a specific firing schedule. It's a long one, but otherwise you're going to get a black bubble in the middle of your glass because the firing paper turns black. It smokes. If you've ever been out there when your kiln is firing, and then it turns white when it's done. So you've got to let all that escape. So I recommend that you fire with those schedules, and those are listed on the CC Enhancer page under the glass products. And then we have different kits for ceramic or glass. Those are available. Kit 1, and there's Kit 2, and There's kit 2. Then we have 3. And you can get all 41 colors in one kit if you want, in a 1 or a 2 ounce size. We also sell them in pints. There's some of you that like certain colors, so those are available. So another product for ceramic, well, actually I use some of this on glass too. The color strokes, which are our opaque underglazes. Okay, the color concentrates are translucent underglazes. So these are traditional opaque underglazes. Be careful, because there's others out there that they say they're an underglaze, but really they're a glaze in a squeeze bottle. You just wouldn't put this product on the bottom of your piece that touches your shelf. It has a tiny amount of glaze in it, or frit, and it could stick, and you never want to put it between like lid and like a canister lid in the bottom. You wouldn't want to put it on both sides, because it could actually fuse together, and then you would not be happy with me or it. I don't want you to ruin your piece. I'm going to try to refresh Facebook again. I'm still not having any luck with it giving me new comments, so I apologize. I'll go check that after the broadcast, and I'll definitely answer your questions out there. So here's some cone 5/6 porcelain stoneware pieces. And do you see those greens on there? Whoever was asking about the greens, that is, I'm trying to remember, way back then, it was probably Jessica's 2167. I started using that, but I like the Mako. You can stencil with it, and I did one of those on, I don't remember the tile. There's a video, like the butterfly is stenciled. The other one just shows you purples, because purples, pinks, and greens is where your problem comes with cone 5, cone 6. And if you're using a zinc-free clear, that helps eliminate. You don't see any new comments on Facebook. Thank you, Teresa, for checking. I appreciate that. The floral and the little urn down there is one that I did a live on, where it had wax on it. I carved through, came back in antique, so Mishima type technique. Let's go over here. So here's some ceramic pieces. These are all earthenware pieces, but you can see how bright and colorful they are. You've got 41 colors. You can intermix any 2 colors together to make another color also. So don't think you're limited to just the 41. Most of these are all color concentrates. I'm trying to remember. That butterfly bowl was probably 20 years ago. Crazy. That's a Riverview mold. The butterfly outline, just the very edge outline, not the single lines, is in the mold. So I just created a project to help them sell that mold, and they sold a ton of them, needless to say. So toucan there in the middle, it comes as a book. That's one of my biggest sellers. It's got piping on it. Now that piping is the clay dimensions, because it is on ceramics. It's only a low fire. We have white or neutral, and we have black in that, but it is only for earthenware. So don't purchase that if you're working on stoneware. I'm working on something for stoneware, but I don't have that yet. The sunflower on the bottom right is Myolica or Magelica. It's the Potter's Stone Buff. Again, this is earthenware. Potter's Stone Buff is a glaze that you can actually bake in, so that's a tortilla warmer. And I put 4 coats of that on, and then I used the color concentrates mixed with a little bit of matte medium, which is our clear matte glaze, so that the design work stayed matte. But the nice thing is you could do it so it would be shiny. Okay, so something to think about if you're on earthenware. And all of these projects are either the butterfly is a free one on my freebies out on the website. The other ones are purchased PDFs. All of those are just PDFs because they're so old. That sounds bad. The color stroke is 63 colors, and then we have a spec. So other companies out there have a say they have a yellow with and without a spec. Well, instead of doing that and creating another 63, I give you the spec. You can add it to any of the colors. You can also add it to any of the color concentrates. Okay, not just the color strokes, but you could add that, and now you can do an apple and add a speck to it. So whoever it was that was doing an apple, that may be something you want to think about. I have not tested that on stoneware cone 5/6 yet, so I'd stay away from it if that's your clay body you're working with. All right, Susan says, if the piping paste has not been opened since Vegas, would it still be good? If it's been kept in a climate control, yes, Susan, it should be. Open it up. The best thing to do is once you open it, put some saran over it, put your lid back on, put it back in the Ziploc bag, and even if you live in like Phoenix or say Florida, you may want to stick it anywhere hot, even California. Stick it in the fridge. Just label it, that it's not food. Okay? Yeah, so try that and open it and see. It should be fine. Because we've got like a foil seal on them, and that has definitely extended the life of it from what it used to be. And we talked about all those different kits. I showed you the wheels. Here's another popular kit I recommend for beginners. So if you haven't used our ceramic product on ceramics, okay, this is 15, is it 15? Yeah, 14 colors. Plus you get a pint of our clear glaze, or the CSP01 gloss medium that I'm always mixing with everything. Now, it's only a CSP01 is a clear glaze for earthenware. You would not use it as a clear over the top on your stoneware or porcelain pieces, okay? It's not made for that. It will craze. But you can use it for design work when mixing it with your colors. Okay, so Sean said she opened hers from Vegas about 2 weeks ago and it was fine. There you go, Susan. You should be good to go for sure. So this is a good beginner kit. And it's on the color concentrate page. Just keep scrolling down until you find it. You can use it, color concentrates, over your underglaze transfers. And that's something I've done multiple videos on. And then I have a class that I taught up in Wisconsin a couple of months ago at the Fire Arts Expo. And I actually have recorded videos. You can go out there and just search transfer and you'll find the class on the website, and you can purchase that with the videos if you want, or just the PDF. So I tell you how I do it, which I do it the Paula way. Everybody has different applications for products. Okay, so we've kind of talked about this, but this is a good slide to put in there. So your color concentrates are translucent or transparent underglazes. They're pure pigment in a gel base. They just glide on nice and smooth and silky. Your color strokes, which the photograph is on the right, is an opaque underglaze, meaning with 3 coats it's opaque. Reds I do 4. No matter how many coats of any product, even if it's not my product, only put on 2 coats and then let it dry thoroughly, and then apply your 3rd or 4th coat, whatever you're doing. Because if you keep putting wet on wet, you're pulling off what you're putting on. So remember, 2 coats, let it dry, and then do your next ones. Okay? They both need to be covered with a clear to be food safe. Could you leave them raw? Yeah, you can, but it would need to be like on an ornament or something that would not be, used for food. Okay? We've talked about them being in the gel base. They're not chalky when they're dry. I've heard Jessica say that a lot of the other companies, and I don't buy other companies' products because they're competitors, that when those dry, they're kind of chalky, where ours is not. And that's something that she has said from the very beginning that she liked about it. And then they can be mixed with the gloss medium to extend the drying time and the blending. So that's what I do on probably 90% of my projects, is add the medium to the concentrate. It basically turns it into a colored gloss glaze that I am doing multiple blending, base coating area. There's just so many things you can do. So hopefully that gives you some insight on that. Here's some stencil projects, and most of these I believe have videos out there. The pumpkin is on the blog. You get the pattern. The video is right below it, so check that out. Those are fun to do, and use the stencil brushes. We have, and I think, I'm pretty sure the stencil brush set, because the sale is for sets. It's on through tonight. Excuse me. So think about that. I'm going to grab a drink. Hold on one second. Okay. You can antique with the products. So put a color, whether it's color stroke or concentrates. Generally with the concentrates, I will mix the gloss medium with it to antique, because most of the time when you're using underglaze, any area you put it down pure out of the bottle, it's going to stain and it's harder to remove. So I would add 50-50 color concentrates, put it on with the fan brush, and then wipe it back, and you can add color. On the top one, I used 681. It's like a nutmeg color to do that one, and then I came back and I sumi shaded some white opaque, the color stroke on those to make them stand out more. The little trees and dishes that have texture on them, like I said, put it on, wipe it back. Anybody can do that. There's just a few videos. Actually, some of these ornaments are videos out there for you. If you're doing brush strokes, I would recommend color concentrates. It's a thinner product. It's vibrant, because remember, the others are opaque with 3 coats. You don't want to have to do 3 coats. You want to get it on, get it done, and be done with it. So this shows you some different examples. A lot of these are free videos out there that you can watch. A couple of them are purchase classes. Here is sumi shading. So, oh, the sumi brushes are on sale too, the set of them. So grab those if you've been waiting to do that. And don't forget, your coupon code is THANKS10, all caps. Will get you 10% off of anything. And you can't use it on the sale items because it's already, I think I put all the brush sets at 15% off. And I may go out there and extend that another couple of days for anybody that didn't know about that. But this is just showing you different ways that you can use the sumi brushes and shade and do some different things with it. Here's some stamping, so you can watercolor background, add some veining. I did those tiles. I did all of that on a live video. So just go to the blog, pick ceramics, pick glass for your what you want to look through, and if you see something you like, click on it, and if there's a pattern, it should be on there, or it'll direct you, and the video's right below that. There's some things that were carved, so you can put them on. I'm going to go back to Facebook real quick and refresh to make sure, to see if I can see anything. I still don't see anything new. So carving, what do we got here? So those decals that I came out with at the glass show, see the birds in the middle of that plate? I painted that, I don't know if it says on there or not, probably over 20 years ago. So I took the center of it and created the decal. So, because everybody's like, I can't paint that. But it was a very popular class. That's all was painted on a 16-inch platter on greenware, earthenware. A lot of sumi brush work, and then some detailing on the birds. It's a fun project. That's called Tropical Birds. And then that shows you two different of the toucan, the apples, the lemons again. Here's Myolica. So the mugs and the bowl on the right are cone 5, cone 6. I've told you on there exactly what I put underneath, so you can do a screenshot of that if you want to remember those. If you're a Glacier member, you'd get the full video free. I did that for you guys on a broadcast. I don't remember. It's been a couple of years ago. And we already talked about the sunflower technique. These are just some blending, 2 and 3 color blending on leaves, lemons, that type of thing. Layering color. Multiple thin layers is better than one thick heavy layer of anything. All right, we have a question. Any issue with using underglazed decal over a CC background? So, no, you could brush it on thinly, make sure it's even. The only problem I see with that is if you get uneven with your application of your underglaze, then your underglaze transfer slash decal. They're transfers. Could be, you might not get a great impression. You know, it may not get down there, but as long as you can get that smooth background and then put the underglaze transfer on top, yes, that would be fine. Absolutely. Good question. Here's opaque coverage like the black checks, the Zen flowers there, the mushrooms. So just using different ways, different products. Hopefully I'm sparking some creativity and interest. There's the silk screening. We actually did the canvas on the right. I gave that away. Actually, I gave the blue butterfly away too on a live one time. Okay, so those are videos that are out there. You can go back. So I silk screened the outline and then painted in. So that is actually done using color stroke 601, which I've written there. Black color stroke, an opaque underglaze, and I used the thickener to thicken it and then put it through. I think I used my finger and just rouged it in, if I remember right, and put it on there. I like to fire those on and set that before I paint because I like to do the blending technique. That's just my recommendation on that. Okay, let's see what this one is. Decals. Oh, that just tells you about my decals. You don't need to see that. What else do we got? Okay, I'm going to go back. So you can go, everybody knows how to find the website, right? Well, there we go. Okay, so on the blog, and this is interactive. Hopefully I can do this without messing it up. I'm just going to click. Is it going to go to it? No. Let's go to ceramic. So you can choose what you want to see, okay? And then you can find a picture of something and click on it. So let's just click on the pansies here. So once you get on there, there's, see this here, a link? Here's your pattern if you want it. Here's all the colors listed. There's more pictures of the piece, and right there is the video. So everything's right there on the blog. Utilize that blog. I don't think people know it enough that it's, you know, they don't know that it's there and how much is on there. So remember that, okay? All right. Any other questions? I have something special. There's your coupon code. I have something special that I would like to share with you guys. I'm not sure that Facebook is doing right. It's like way behind on the feed. So use that coupon. It's good through the end of the month. Okay. Don't forget, I will be on ClayShare on December 3rd doing the teapot, showing you how to do that. So I was on the phone tonight. I was on Messenger to start with, and one of my customers, and she's on here, Sean, was sharing something with me, and it, I'm going to try not to cry, touched my heart. And she has a family member that is very sick, and I normally don't do this, but it just felt like something I needed to share with you. So I'm going to click over here. This is her, oh goodness, sorry, it's hard to talk. Her niece and her husband. Her husband is terminal. They just found this out, and it's even got worse since the wife sent this message. And what I want to do, you guys fill my life with so much joy being on here. Whew. That I'm going to do something for this family, and I hope you will support me. They do have a GoFundMe. You can reach out to Sean, and I told her she could post it on my page, but I want you to look at this. I'm going to make as many ornaments as I can make um, through the weekend. These are some that I already have made, and all the proceeds are going to that family. Um, so if there's something you want to purchase, I've talked about pricing before. These are examples. Those are not available, but like if you want a paste ornament, they come in different sizes. And I'll do a post and I'll just do a group shot of these. These are all available. Um, I'm throwing in the 2 ceramic ones also. And I just feel like um, they need it more than I do right now. So um, he's terminal. They're getting ready to do a surgery on him. But they're sending him home before that so that he can be with his girls. They are 15 and 17. And as of a couple hours ago, the girls don't even know that he's terminal. So I hope I'm saying this all right, Sean. I didn't realize I was going to get this emotional. Yeah, it's devastating for the wife and the kid, for everybody. I mean, it's just, and I lost an uncle recently that within 2 weeks of diagnosis of kidney, liver, and lung cancer, stage 4, he was gone. Didn't even know he had cancer. And this gentleman has a tumor in his brain the size of a lime, and they have to go in and do, they're going to try surgery and see, but they basically are not giving him very long. So all the proceeds from any ornaments that I sell that I'm going to create this weekend and I'll post will go to the family. And so I'll just hopefully Sean, you have like a Venmo or something, or I can just do it as a donation on the GoFundMe, whichever would work the best. So I have other ornaments ready to go. There's different sizes, but if you see something here that you like, I think this one is gorgeous, honestly. Isn't that purple just phenomenal? This is a large. This is a large in the paste. It's not finished yet. Or this is a large in the round, okay? And this would be a small. Oh, goodness, sorry. And I have some new ones. Here's some new color combinations. So if you see something you like, let me know. Send me a message. Reach out, and I'll get it shipped to you, okay? So the prices range from $17.95 for the small ones. $15.95 for these. If they're the paste ones like these, they're $17.95, and then they go up. But I have tons of different colors. If you have something you need as a gift or a specific color, I'll be happy to do it. I have a ton of, I think I counted 16 clear ones with colors on them ready to go. So like I'll do some blue flowers on this, and then I have some gold, and I think there's some green ones ready to go on those. And then of course the paste ones, like this is one that would be $34.95. I have to finish it, but that's how large they are. They're the same basically size as that. So if you need a gift and you'd like to help this family, I will pass any of the proceeds to them, and I will paint them through the end of paint them through the weekend, and anything I paint from now until Sunday and I sell, I will give it to them. Okay, everything. Okay, well, of course not the shipping, but the actual ornament fee. So and you can reach out to Sean. She's there on Facebook, the SIAN 707, but you can find her on Facebook. Here's her name underneath the photograph. You can message her, and I think Sean, just we can share the GoFundMe on my Facebook page if you want, and people can donate that way. Maybe they don't need an ornament, or if there's something else I can make for you, whether it be a ceramic or the and then let me know. All of these are plastic except for the paste ones, or a glass ornament. I do have glass ornaments I can make that are the same shapes as all the other ones. So um, I have glass ones. These are just a durable plastic and they're better for shipping. But they have, look at all the jewels and stuff on there. There's probably 35 to 40 jewels on each one. I love this color too. I think that's just beautiful. It's rolled with a, because all these start clear and I put this stuff on the inside and then I put the jewels on. I've got tons of videos out there that I've done over the years, and then I show you how to do all of this if you want to do them for yourself. Okay. All right, let me check for questions real quick. Did anybody think of anything else? Will the clear matte glaze milky up CCs if used on top of low fire? Okay, so let me address that. Janice, any matte glaze, if you get it on too heavy, will milk, but only do 2 coats, 3 at the max. Make sure that you will pretty much see your colors through the glaze, even our clear glaze. So just be careful with it. I've done it. It's beautiful. But you can use the matte as myolica also. Put it down. This is on earthenware we're talking, everybody. Earthenware, not stoneware. So Janice, are you earthenware 0406? I hope. I have an ornament base coated in the clear matte that I'm going to do a myolica, and I'll probably just do it on a live. I think that'll be the easiest thing to do. Yeah, Sean said she's a mess. Yeah. You're welcome, honey. I'm glad I could share that. And I just feel so bad for everybody. Yes, you're on earthenware. Okay, Janice, good. So yeah, you could put, now if I'm doing myolica with the matte, I put on 4 coats because of the fact, okay, think about it. You're going to be handling it as you're painting it. I put on the 4 coats and then I take my fingers, because my hands are so rough because of working with the clay bodies, you know, it sucks the moisture. I sit and literally sand. Let me move these ornaments and I'll show you, because I've got the ornament here. And I'm going to go back to the overhead. I had to write myself a note that there's matte on here. But, you know, when you're applying something, you're not always completely smooth, and I know it's not going to show up on camera. But I go back and I finger sand. Do you see it on my hands? See the white? And I get a nice, so I'm taking part of that 4th coat off, but I want a nice smooth surface. But look at that. Isn't that amazing? And that will give that to me. Because like here, I don't think it'll show up on the camera, but it's hard to get a nice even coat, and mattes don't move like your clear glazes may move slightly. So definitely you could put 4 coats on, sand it down, and I'll save this one, do this on a live, and then I'll show you how to come back and do. So the nice thing about, if you have the matte as the base, you could mix your concentrates with your CSP01 gloss medium, and you could do your design work, which is probably what we'll do. And the design work will be glossy, and your matte background will be on there, which is awesome. It's a very cool technique. But if you want it all matte, I'll explain how to do that. You just, when you do Magelica, you mix a little bit of the base glaze into your color so that it stays matte, because a lot of people tend to get too heavy with their application of their color, and you can get some blistering. I have to have my note in here of how many coats I've got on that, because I do way too many things. Hold on, I want to show you something else. So this is a porcelain piece. See how and it's similar. I don't know if I can turn this light where you can see it a little better. See how the flower or the leaves are glossy on there, but the background is porcelain. It's a matte finish. So that's color concentrates on the leaves mixed with the gloss medium, and I did 1 brush stroke and they turn glossy, which is kind of cool. Don't ask me about this textured stuff because we don't have it anymore. But you can mix the matte glaze with some CCs and some of our textured sand, and you can create those little, see how raised those are? This was an old product called Relief Motif. I've only discontinued like 4 products in 19 years, and this happened to be one of them. But isn't that a cool look? So see how the ears are glossy? So the same effect would work on your ceramic if it was a matte glaze and you decided to gloss the decoration. That's kind of cool. All right, any other questions? I just thought I'd show you that. That's, I don't know when I did that, probably 25 years ago. I tend to keep everything. But I need to sell some samples, so I may, if you're looking for a gift and you need something, let me know. If you've seen me paint something, you want to know if it's available, message me. Because I can't keep all my samples I've done, and I need to let some of them go. So, all right, last check for questions. Anybody got any other questions? Don't forget to use your coupon code. It's good through the end of the month. You're welcome, Janice. You're welcome. Okay. Don't forget, join me for Clayshare Live on Jessica's YouTube channel or on Clayshare on their private, on the website. If you're a Prime member, you can watch it over there. So that's on December 3rd. Okay. Anything else? Nothing? All right. All right, Teresa. Thank you. You're in Atlanta, right? You're still out of town. You're welcome, guys. Not a problem. If you want to see anything more specific, let me know, and I'll do it. We'll hone in on that exact. I may go live over the weekend and show me painting some of my ornaments. I'm going to be sitting here doing them anyway, so I might as well share it with you guys so I can answer some questions while I'm doing those too. All right, you guys. Thank you. And if you can help and you'd like some ornaments, you let me know. And I will see you next week. Okay? Take care. Appreciate you being here. Don't forget to like. Make sure you subscribe on YouTube. You're welcome. Not a problem. All right. See you guys later.